Unrest on the United States doorstep. For months now, Haiti has been rocked by political instability and economic hardships. Gangs have taken over the capital city and are now targeting previously peaceful neighbourhoods. A transitional council working to pick an interim president and prime minister after months of delays, hoping to pave the way for the development of international security forces. And as the death toll mounts in Haiti and people continue to flee, it is yet to be seen if order can be restored. Sky News Digital Originals presents Haiti Crisis. In Haiti, a mounting crisis over governance exacerbated by natural disasters and a worsening humanitarian situation has reached a boiling point. The nation has been gripped by chaos for over a year, with tensions escalating in recent months. Now, gangs are controlling large parts of the country, causing upheaval.
So, the root of the crisis, of the current crisis, can be established with the assassination in 2021 of the president of Haiti, right? And then the current prime minister at that time took over his role as acting president and prime minister and president in a sense. And the whole international community was behind him, trying to support him in this process. What we could say that this is actually 2 years completely wasted for Haiti. And that brings us here now with, the considerable growth of armed groups and gangs in Port-au-Prince, the state losing control progressively of the territory, and up to the point where Ariel Henry, who's the acting prime minister, had to resign himself. So that's the root causes of the current crisis. So the gangs, it's something that is quite difficult for us to understand in Australia, but these gangs have been part and parcel of the landscape in Haiti for the last 50 years or so, right? Even more. So they've always been present somehow, playing this kind of semi-political role, being associated with powerful members of sometimes the business kind of groups, or sometimes political groups. We know that Tonton Macoute back then, for the past kind of Papa Doc, the very famous autocrat of Haiti. Then after that, with Jean-Bertrand Aristide, we had the Chimère. And these groups, they are semi-autonomous. Sometimes they can turn against you, which somehow is also the root cause of this current crisis with the armed groups, seemingly. Jovenel Moïse, who's the assassinated president, was trying to get to get some support from some of these gangs, and this seemingly backfired against him. So these groups have always been present. Now, some of them at the moment try to play more of a political game. Others really are not interested in this. It's just racketing, pure and simple. But what we know is that they are increasingly powerful, especially in the Port-au-Prince region. So they control something like 80% of the city at the moment. So this is quite a trouble, quite a problem for Haiti.
Mission of Hope has been on the ground helping in Haiti since 1998, and founder Brad Johnson has supported its people through many challenges.
We have over 300 full-time Haitian staff, and they are committed to seeing their country changed. And many of them could leave. They chose to stay. And the way they've adapted, they've taken our normal processes of educating children. We had over 16,000 kids in our school system, 125,000 kids a day that were being fed throughout the country that our team was overseeing. And they've adapted to continue to be able to meet that demand and feed 125,000 kids a day, even in the current crisis, meaning many of the roads in Port-au-Prince are closed because gangs are occupying them. But they've found ways around that to still serve the most vulnerable. That being said, since January, they've also served 9.5 million meals throughout the country to those that are in need. So the team has adapted incredibly well, given the circumstances. And we believe that's why we can continue to work there, is because we have 300 full-time Haitian staff that they feel like they own the vision and they want to see their country changed. You know, I've been serving in Haiti, going to Haiti for 49 years now of my life, since I was a young child. And when I talk to them, many of them I've known that whole time, they say that they've never seen Haiti like this. Now that, if you take that back, that's from dictatorship to through the democracies that we've had to current. And they would say that men that were strong men now look like a beanpole because of malnutrition. I mean, right now you can't imagine there's 4.9 million people in the country of Haiti that are in food insecurity. With that, there's 1.65 million people that are steps away from a famine. And that's a few hundred miles off of the shore of the United States of America. It's unacceptable in our opinion.
Haiti is facing one of its biggest challenges at the moment. International security force headed by Kenyan police are set to arrive in coming weeks. They're tasked with restoring order and reclaiming control from violent criminal factions.
I think everyone knew as well that this will be a tricky mission, right? And everyone who has been part of the past string of UN missions know that this is a very, very tricky position to be placed in. So Canada respectfully declined, I think, and then so we end up with Kenya. It's a very murky situation and state of affair. We don't know really what kind of tractations went behind the scene. It seems a bit surprising to everyone who's been following Haiti and Haitian politics, because with Kenya, we have a country that is, yes, used to kind of anti-terrorism efforts, but the policing efforts is less of something that they are known for in terms of policing, international policing mission. And more importantly, they don't speak French, they don't speak Creole. So it's going to be tricky to be legitimate on the ground. Now, it took quite a while because, yes, they needed a leader for this. Now they have it with Kenya. We have a number of other African countries as well who've decided to step in somehow. So we'll see what happens. What is happening at the moment is every day we have a number of flights coming from the US with seemingly no kind of conversation with the Transitional Council, which is quite interesting. And so we have American flights coming in the airport and delivering military aid to the country. So just basically putting the foundation in the country for the establishment and deployment of this security mission. So it should be coming, I would imagine, the next 2 or 3 weeks. We know that the president of Kenya will be doing a official visit to the US, which is a big thing. It's first time that we have a president of Kenya coming to the US for an official visit. So that's a big thing. Probably this will be synchronized with the start of the mission. That is the best guess I can offer.
Despite these dire circumstances, critics argue that the Biden administration's response has been tepid at best, raising questions about the level of support and engagement from the United States, Haiti's closest neighbour and significant regional power.
They know that it's a very, very difficult position that the US has always been playing. You know, like everyone is seemingly wants them involved, but the more you're involved, the less legitimate you become as well. So everyone is, you know, the same people will be saying, you know, we want American boots on the ground, will be the same probably 2 or 3 weeks after. We'll be starting throwing rocks at these same soldiers. So I think and that's what also the experience of Canada, the last MINUSTA mission, the last stabilization mission, is telling us as well, is that you got to be careful with these roles. And there's a strong sentiment in Haiti of anti-colonialism, anti kind of Western imperial kind of positions. So it's very tricky for the US to be seen as being very present, but they are behind the scene really. They are still the most important player in that crisis, and they are trying probably to. They probably have, you know, they probably know what's happening on the ground and what they would like to see to happen in the next 2 weeks.
It's definitely a perplexed situation with immigration. I think it's also, you have a lot of different political issues from other countries that are coming in trying to get power through Haiti. Also, you have the drugs and the cartel that's pushing, you know, weapons and ammunition through there. as well as drugs. So it is on our doorsteps, and I do believe they're trying to address it. Behind that, though, the political issue is the humanitarian crisis. And that's where we lean in, going, we've got to face the fact that 778,000 children are right now without food. Over 500,000 kids that were in school have been pushed out, and now they don't have a place to go to school. And, when you look at internally displaced people, refugees in their own country, 362,000 people have moved where they always have known, where their family and their family before them had land. They've been pushed out by gangs, and now they're living in 81 camps that are throughout the refugee camps throughout the country. So it's very sad to see.
Haiti has faced challenge after challenge. In 2010, a catastrophic earthquake struck the island. More than 220,000 people were killed and 1.3 million people were displaced, leaving a long-lasting mark on the country.
2010 was a natural disaster, and now this is a man-made disaster. And so in 2010, there were no roadblocks. We could move product to people that had great needs. Today, we're getting calls from people that are starving to death and people that we know, and we can't get food to them because the gangs are blocking the roads and they're not letting people through. The port, the main port where most of the food comes through in Port-au-Prince, is controlled. And so the food, all the food that would come through there, they can't get in now. So most organizations aren't even able to move food into the country to get to the most need that is there. So it is by far one of the most dire times we've seen in our time serving in Haiti.
They have not been blessed with these disasters, right? And so it's one after the other. Everyone's focusing on the earthquake, and we're talking about lots of people killed, but also the full Port-au-Prince region all completely devastated. The thing is that after that, there's a number of tropical storms that happen. There's a food crisis, inflation of food prices. So all of them it's every year or two we have a crisis in Haiti. And these disasters, for people working on disaster studies, we tend to refer to them as man-made in somehow, right? It's not just nature calling, right? Like there's a reason why you have 200,000 people dead in Haiti, and you have just a handful of them in casualties in Japan or in Chile for a similar type of earthquake, right? So it's just obviously the preparation is problematic. The centralization of everything in Port-au-Prince, with a city that is not designed to be hosting so many people, is also part of the problem. So now we need to see new ways of dealing with this and building the resilience of the state, because the usual kind of state building projects that we have seen in Haiti simply doesn't deliver the type of resilience that the Haitian population should expect.
Haiti's political leaders continue to grapple with internal divisions, power struggles and allegations of corruption, further complicating efforts to stabilise the country and restore democratic governance.
I think the people of Haiti are some of the most resilient people that I've ever met. They've overcome slavery to be one of the first nations in the world to have their freedom. They've overcome dictatorship, disaster after disaster, one of the most just horrific earthquakes you could imagine in 2010, to come back. And so I think there's hope that someone could come and help them, but also they have been abandoned by the assassination of their president, and it feels like the world looked the other way. And so as the gangs have risen, they're looking for someone that will come in and just have their back and give them the opportunity to be the nation that they believe God wants them to be. And so that's where we as Mission Hope feel like we step in, as we want to be there to help them have that opportunity. And right now, the greatest need is nutrition, but that solves a problem today. But where we really lean into is education and Christ-centered education. We believe that's the future, because if we can have an educated population, then they'll choose the right leaders. But right now, they don't have that opportunity.
Obviously, everyone is talking about elections. Elections are great, but the problem in the last couple of elections in Haiti is that they have been very, very disputed, with strong international presence as well, and some clear indications that in certain of these elections, the US and other actors actually decided to play a big role in choosing who's going to be going to the second of the round and these kind of decisions. And so this affects the credibility of all this. Obviously, the international partners want to be talking to someone who is going to be able to be aligning themselves with the same kind of goals and objectives of these diplomacies, and they are injecting so much money that they think that they can actually expect this. But this ends up with like very temporary processes where we are not able to get out of the real root causes of the fragility of Haiti. So what we would like to see now is first of all an electoral council that is going to be established by this temporary council that is actually going to be credible and going to be impartial. And we need really strong personalities here, not this kind of like usual political game that we have seen in electoral councils. And so establishing the basis for free and fair elections in 2 years' time.
What we see as soon as the doors open is going to be one of the greatest needs I believe our hemisphere has ever seen. So many people have lost homes, not just left their homes, but lost homes because they've been torn down by the gangs that have gone through. So there's going to be so much rebuilding to do. Also, we're working with over 1,000 farmers right now because Haiti should produce for itself. So we have to lean into the agriculture. But I believe Haiti's best days are ahead, and it's gonna be a long road to get people back into where they were. But I do believe it'll be a fast recovery if we can work together and really value not the politics of Haiti, but the people of Haiti. When we can value the people of Haiti, that means we're leaning in and giving them education. There's job creation. We're helping them produce their own crops versus importing the meals and the food. When we get to that place, we'll see the country of Haiti really shine in the Caribbean.
As Haiti navigates through this tumultuous period, there is hope that with the appointment of an interim government and international security forces set to arrive, order can be restored. Until then, the eyes of the world remain fixed on Haiti, watching closely as it strives towards stability to see if the Haiti crisis can be resolved.